Good morning, everybody. Gonna try to do this quick because we've got court in a little bit. Everybody hear me okay? Alright, let's see here. Good morning, everybody. Jason, Bob, Ryan, John, Disabled Outcast, early and often. Gotta invoke it. Torque, JC, Euchre, X Nile? I don't know. Sylvia, what up? Blind Justice. How are you doing, my friend? Alright. Good morning, everybody. While I was sleeping last night, Lane sent me, I'm not sure who was able to stick around for the second live stream, but he sent me the finished Brady motion, and I just wanted to go over it real quick because I think it's important. I think it is, we talk about showing up and walking the walk, right? And it takes, whether you want to make fun of Lane or name call Lane or get into shit with Lane, Lane walks the walk. And we're going to go through this motion. And he's not afraid to talk to the court the way that the court needs to be talked to when they're not obeying the law, obeying the court rules, obeying procedure. So the first Brady motion was good, but I don't know how. I don't know how this gets out of today. I truly hope, this is my hope. I don't know if I'm deluded, but I truly hope that, because this is what should happen. What should happen is that we should come into court today and Kathy should dress Kent down and sanction Kent, and then officers should come into the courtroom and cuff Kent and take him away. What he is doing, it's beyond the pale. All right, so got to do this quick because I've got to get into the courtroom. So going to try to keep this under an hour so I can make sure I'm one of the lucky few who gets into the courtroom. All right, see if I can do this competently. All right, so this is the second Brady motion because Kent's response to the first Brady motion was basically, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. I'm not lying. You can trust me. I'm the prosecutor, right? Mr. Myers moves this court pursuant to Brady v. Maryland and New Mexico Rule of Criminal Procedure 6-504F to immediately order the sanctioned dismissal with prejudice for Kent Wahlquist's numerous and compounding discovery violations and lies to this court. Unless this court believes Elvis is still alive and running a bait shop along Lake Erie, then it is obvious to the whole world that Kent Wahlquist is lying to this court intentionally and with criminal intent. Okay, so say what you will about Lane, but you've got to have some big brass balls to open your motion saying some shit like that. So talk all the shit you want, right? Everybody can talk all the shit that they want, but email me your motions. Let me read your motions. Let me see what's going on there. Mr. Myers has made multiple attempts to resolve this issue without a Brady motion. However, the state has not made a single response to any communication by Mr. Myers and is now lying with criminal intent to this court, so swift sanctions must be issued to ensure the integrity of the judicial system. Kent Wahlquist has now violated Brady and the rules of criminal procedure pursuant to 6-504A CF. This behavior must be met with swift sanctions to ensure the efficient administration of justice. Mr. Myers was arrested on July 1st, 2023. On August 10th, 2023, Mr. Myers filed a discovery request asking for any exculpatory evidence in the state's possession, Exhibit 1. Here's Exhibit 1. Mr. Myers is requesting any and all material in case, so this was the case number before the amended complaint after Kent came into this very hearing that we're having today and amended the charges so he could start all over again. Okay, so here's that. That the prosecution has in their possession, which would A, help to prove my innocence in this case, or B, has been prepared by the prosecution to use against me in court. Okay, that's weird. That's weird, right? Alright, so it looks like he did that. On January 30th, 2025, the parties attended a scheduling conference in front of Judge Taylor, during which discovery deadlines were set of February 28th, 2025. On February 7th, 2025, Kent Wahlquist provided Mr. Myers with a document labeled Exhibit List that did not contain the names, addresses, and telephone numbers that Kent Wahlquist intends to call at trial. Mr. Myers then filed a motion to compel on 2/12/25 with this court, and the court immediately ordered Kent Wahlquist to produce and file a witness list with Mr. Myers by 2/13 the next day. Kent Wahlquist then knowingly and willfully misled this court by filing a witness list and certificate of compliance that were not legally cognizable. I'm not sure what cognizable. Mr. Myers then filed multiple motions to compel under Rule 6-504F, as well as a motion pursuant to Brady. The state then filed its multiple responses on March 4th. Mr. Myers now files this Brady Rule 6-504 motion. This way the court can see all the prosecutorial misconduct by Kent Wahlquist and act immediately according to the law. Okay, well, we all don't bat 1,000. Mr. Myers moves this court pursuant to Brady Harper and the New Mexico Rules of Criminal Procedure 6-504F to issue the sanction of dismissal with prejudice. Mr. Myers believes that Kent Wahlquist is committing ethical and legal violations with this prosecution. Does he think that he can willfully and knowingly mislead the court without repercussions? What do you guys think? It seems like he thinks he can do that. Yeah, this motion is fire, Nico and Sai. Unreal to me. It's all unreal to me. Mr. Myers Brady violation. Mr. Myers moves this court pursuant to. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read fast, so I'm fumbling over the words here a little bit. Pursuant to Brady to establish that Kent Wahlquist has willfully and knowingly committed prosecutorial misconduct. Wahlquist has known about exculpatory evidence for 20 months and still not produced it. Kent Wahlquist is in violation of the law and the model rules of professional conduct. Kent Wahlquist has knowingly lied to this court in an attempt to obfuscate the truth before this court. Not only fail to provide material that could be used for exculpatory or impeachment purposes. In New Mexico, the assertion of a Brady violation is an allegation of prosecutorial misconduct. See State v. Trujillo, 2002, all that stuff. We review the district court's ruling on prosecutorial misconduct for abuse of discretion because it is in the best position to evaluate the significance of any alleged prosecutorial errors. ID 49, internal quotation marks and citation omitted. Under the abuse of discretion standard, the district court's ruling should be upheld unless it is arbitrary, capricious, or beyond reason. State v. Balanqua, 2009. In order to establish a Brady violation, defendant must show that 1. The prosecution suppressed evidence. Got that. The evidence was favorable to the accused. Absolutely got that. And the evidence was material to the defense. Well, it basically proves his innocence. So, State v. Romero. Mr. Myers will now show the three-pronged test for the Brady finding. Kent Wahlquist has now willfully and intentionally suppressed evidence. As this court will see, Kent Wahlquist has knowingly and intentionally misled this court on multiple occasions now. Violation 1. You guys remember how many violations there were? You would think that one violation would be enough to send this to the dumpster fire that it is, but no. When responding to Mr. Myers' Brady violation number 1, failure to disclose Angel Moreno's termination by New Mexico State Police. When responding to... For a second, let me see if I can make this a little bigger for myself. All right. When responding to Mr. Myers' Brady Rule 6-504F motion, Kent Wahlquist filed bold-faced lies to this court. This was not a mistake, and it was in bad faith. Kent Wahlquist claims that he sent a Giglio request to the New Mexico State Police. The first Judicial District Attorney's Office sent a Giglio request to New Mexico State Police pursuant to Giglio v. U.S. 405 U.S. 150. The response to that Giglio request from New Mexico State Police is that Angel Moreno has not had any disciplinary actions, has had no internal affairs investigations against him, and he resigned from New Mexico State Police in good standing. You know, the thing is he probably did resign in good standing. They probably presented him all this mountain of evidence against him, said, listen, bro, you know, we want to protect our blue line brothers because really, you know, that's what we care about first, but you're putting us in a tough spot here. You suck. You suck bad. So they said, listen, you can, you know, we're going to fire you over this, or you can do what, you know, we got this secret trick where we let you resign before we fire you. And if we do that, you're in like Flynn. You can go anywhere else and you can start all over. You can do the same stuff to different people in a different state or a different city. It's really a great deal because we love to treat the people that we are tasked with serving and swore to serve and protect like shit. That's our thing. Therefore, the court can deny the defendant's motion because Angel Moreno was not terminated by New Mexico State Police, so there is nothing to disclose regarding something that did not happen. Kent the cunt. Wow. First, let's address the fact that if Kent Wahlquist actually sent a Giglio request as he indicated to this court, he would have included a copy of it in his response. Kent Wahlquist has to be kidding to think that he can just respond to a Brady motion with the equivalent of, trust me, it happened. Exactly. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. It happened. This is a court of law, where things must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Kent Wahlquist cannot attach the Giglio request or any affidavit testifying to the facts of the request. This is nothing more than an unsubstantiated rumor at this point. This is not the legal standard to be met, and proof should have been easy to attach if it really happened. Second, let's come to the fact that Kent Wahlquist's statements are bold-faced lies to this court. Mr. Myers even included a copy of Mr. Myers' internal affairs complaint in his first Brady motion, which was confirmed by the Internal Affairs Department in an email filed with this court. If former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno simply resigned in good standing, Kent Wahlquist would have included a copy of his personnel file which showed as such. Former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno also admitted he was required to attend de-escalation training as a result of his unlawful arrest of Mr. Myers during his PTI. Anybody know what a PTI is? What's a PTI? What time is court? Court is in an hour and 13 minutes. I'm not sure what a PTI is. Sounds like discipline to a reasonable person of average intelligence. Clearly, this is one of the several bold-faced lies by Kent Wahlquist to this court. I'm going to stand by for a second, guys. I got to check something. All right, cool. All right, sorry. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. Violation number 2, failure to disclose Angel Moreno's use of force rejected by New Mexico State Police. The next Brady violation that has taken place is that at no point in the last 20 months has Kent Wahlquist notified the defendant that former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno has had his use of force report rejected by his supervisors in this arrest of Mr. Myers. In response, Kent Wahlquist once again lied out his ass to this court, despite Mr. Myers included undisputed proof of his claims as usual. Take it easy, one man. I don't know what you said before that, but peace. The First Judicial District Attorney's Office sent a Giglio request to New Mexico State Police pursuant to the Giglio. The response to that Giglio is that Angel Moreno did not have a use of force rejected by the New Mexico State Police, so there is nothing to disclose on that item. Wow, bro. Wow, he just says it. He just says it, and fuck, bro, wow. Based on this response, Kent Wahlquist must want us all to believe in Bigfoot also, or the Tooth Fairy. Not only did Mr. Myers include his rejected use of force report, Exhibit 2 and 3. Alright, so this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all. So here's the use of force. Here's the email saying, hey, you suck. You gotta do your shit, bro. Actually, you don't even have to do your shit. We're gonna do your shit for you. We'll do your shit for you. Where's the thing? Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna do it for you. Here. This is what it should look like. Oh wait. Now, I'm just wondering. What do you guys think? What does that look like to you? Do you guys call that something? What is it when somebody else writes your report? The brass and I are going to review your video. You should be as detailed as possible. Otherwise, it makes it seem you are leaving things out to hide something. That's what the supervisor says. You're hiding stuff, Moreno. You're hiding stuff, Moreno. You're leaving a lot of things out, Moreno. Standing on the window. Oh my lord. Did you request for EMS? Wow. The mail was examined by, refused to cooperate, and did not want to be checked out. Wow. That happened at the campsite, huh? Alright, I can't get in. I'm going to get way too distracted for this right now. But that's just to show you that Kent's full of shit. Let me put this down here. Alright, it's not going to want to go down there for some reason. Fucker. Alright, let's see what's in 3. Shit. Alright, here we go. Alright, this is a different use of force. This isn't lanes. But it does show that a use of force report was rejected. So, this guy really sucks. There we go. All right. In his first Brady motion, former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno admitted his use of force report was rejected by his supervisor during his PTI. Must have been that interview, pre-trial interview. There it is. Did somebody say that in the chat? Anybody work that out for us? I sure hope we're going to be watching live. Pre-trial investigation, pre-trial intervention, investigation. You guys are on the right track. I know this guy had it. Who is it? Who had it? Who was it? Bob. There it is. Bob. Illuminate had it. There we go. Disabled early and often, baby. Aaron's got it. All right, we're all on top of it. I'm just not tapped in. So, thank you, chat. Thank you, shareholders. Thank you very much. This clearly meets the 3-prong Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. Can you even believe it? Violation number 3, contact information. Moving into the next fairy tale by Kent Wahlquist, he wants this court to believe his mental gymnastics regarding the handling of the witness contact information. Because the defendant has already completed a pre-trial interview with Doug Downey, the defendant is not prejudiced. The defendant is not prejudiced by not knowing where Douglas Downey is right now. And there is nothing the defendant can do with Douglas Downey's personal contact information other than harass Douglas Downey. Okay. That's a bold assertion right there. That's bold, right? Has he ever harassed Douglas Downey? Weird. I don't think that's happened. Kent Wahlquist seems to imply that the only reason that Mr. Myers wants the legally required contact information is to commit a criminal act against toilet cleaner Douglas Downey, despite the fact that Mr. Myers clearly said it was to subpoena both witnesses to trial in order to guarantee their appearance, as well as to subpoena production of discovery in their possession. Why did the court order the state to produce the witness contact information on 2 occasions if there was not a legally cognizable reason for such an order? Is Kent Wahlquist implying that Mr. Myers and Judge Taylor were involved in a conspiracy to harass toilet cleaner Douglas Downey? The argument that Kent Wahlquist fails the lie The argument by Kent Wahlquist fails the lie detector test also. If Kent Wahlquist truly believed that he had no reason to turn over the witness contact information, he would have objected to the court's scheduling order, required the production, and he especially would have strongly objected when this court granted Mr. Myers' motion to compel requiring compliance within 6-504C. Kent Wahlquist also did not file a notice of redaction pursuant to 6-504.1 when involving a pro se litigant. Why did Kent Wahlquist only raise these objections when told Mr. Myers wanted to subpoena the state's witnesses? He's had since the pretrial interviews on September 13th, 2023, and has not even mentioned it. Kent Wahlquist also did not include any proof that he subpoenaed either of his witnesses. If Kent Wahlquist wanted to make sure that Mr. Myers was able to subpoena the witnesses, then he could have simply said that he already did and show proof. But he can't, because he didn't, because he's full of shit. Mr. Myers has seen nothing from Kent Wahlquist that is a valid legal argument to withhold the information. Kent Wahlquist has also not responded to any of Mr. Myers' communications directly answering any of these questions. Kent Wahlquist is choosing to speak through these trash motions. Well, his lies speak for themselves, loudly. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test. Because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material, that material was favorable to the accused, and that evidence was material to the defense. Violation number 4. New pretrial interviews with witnesses. Mr. Myers requested new pretrial reasons for 6 legally cognizable reasons. Kent Wahlquist responded to 1 reason, poorly, as is the pattern throughout this case. Sorry, guys. The state has compiled with these discovery obligations in relation to the items requested by the defendant. The defendant completed pretrial interviews of the 2 state witnesses on 9/12/2023. The defendant is not entitled to new witness interviews because the state amended the charges. Mr. Myers clearly listed 6 valid reasons, not just because the state amended the charges. That's a gross oversimplification of Mr. Myers' request for new interviews. Mr. Myers stands by all 6 reasons in his motion to compel. It's clear that Kent Wahlquist interfered in Mr. Myers' previous pretrial interviews, as it can be seen in this clip of the PTI showing just one of the many instances by Kent Wahlquist. 14. Alright, I think I can pull it down now. 14.
Okay. Let's just get to a couple about you pulling your gun out. All right, so you arrived at the campsite. When you arrived at the campsite, did you see a beware a dog sign?
Not when I arrived.
Have you ever been bitten while on duty?
I have, yes.
Do you have post-traumatic stress disorder from that?
No.
Here we go. Is the screen sharing? Yes. All right, so did you pull your gun out before or after the dog barked at you?
After.
You pulled the gun out after the dog barked at you. Okay.
After.
Let's watch the video. You ready? Let me pause right there for a second. Prior to arriving at Mr. Myers' campsite, were you aware that he had dogs?
Yes.
Thank you.
We all heard that gun come out right when he came out of the car, though.
Your gun is out.
Yes.
Can we agree your gun is out?
Yes, my firearm is out.
Have you heard a dog bark yet?
Yes. In my perception, yes. I saw the stimulus of the dog almost jumping out the front
Mr.
window.
Moreno, did you hear a dog bark prior to pulling your firearm?
He answered
From
the
what
question. I think we got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. He's answered the question.
I believe I'm legally allowed 7 hours.
I'm going to cut this off in 3 minutes, and then you can file a motion with the court.
That's cool. So you, in your perception, you heard a dog bark, but in the video, you don't hear a dog bark prior. Is that correct?
I don't hear any of the sound in the video right now.
You cannot hear the sound?
Fucking dog away from me.
You pulled the gun out, and then the dog barked. Was there any reason you couldn't take a different path to the car?
That was just the path I chose to walk. That's how I chose to approach it.
You know what New
There's
Mexico House Bill 4 is?
I do not.
All right, well, that doesn't seem very good. So why was the prosecutor even allowed to be present at Mr. Myers' interviews? Nothing in the court rule requires the prosecutor to be present at defendant's pretrial interviews. Clearly, obstruction by Kent Wahlquist. He needed to sit there and shut up, not say a single word, and observe the interviews at the most. This clearly meets the 3-prong Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material, and that material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. It's crazy that Moreno, he must not even watch that. That's what these cops must do. They don't even pay attention to the truth. But you can hear him pull his weapon out right when he gets out of the car. I mean, I to pretend that isn't what happened is, you really have to strain your imagination. All right, so violation number 5. We're on to 5 violations. 5 violations. One's enough. One's enough, but we're up to 5. Is Kathy gonna listen to this? Did Kathy review the first Brady? Is Kathy gonna let Kent get away with this? I've never seen anything as terrible. I mean, the stuff in Tucson was terrible, right? But this is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous. Violation number 5, Douglas Downey's employment file. And of course, that doesn't exist either, right? Mr. Myers requested some type of documentation from Kent Wahlquist showing exactly what toilet cleaner Douglas Downey was employed to do. Some type of employment contract, some type of formal documentation showing the toilet cleaner Douglas Downey had authority to remove Mr. Myers' permission to enter United States Forest Service lands open to the public for recreational purposes. This was the pathetic response by Kent Wahlquist. Douglas Downey's employment documents are not in the possession, custody, or control of the state. Therefore, the state is not under any obligation to disclose what it does not have. What? What? How does Kent Wahlquist plan to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury of 12 reasonable people of average intelligence that toilet cleaner Douglas Downey possessed actual authority as required under Article 2, Section 10 of the New Mexico State Constitution? Does he plan on telling them, does he plan on just telling them, trust me, I'm a pathological liar and you should believe me? Seems as if some documentation related to the actual authority of Douglas Downey would be important when trying to prove an innocent man guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not on Mr. Myers to prove anything. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. So are we getting a picture here? Corrupt prosecutor, that's right. Are we getting a clear picture of what is going on in New Mexico? It makes me want to never visit New Mexico. And New Mexico is beautiful. You know what I mean? Can you believe that he was scared of that little ass dog too? God, what is wrong with this guy? Violation number 6. We're on to 6. We're off of one hand. We can't even count the violations on one hand anymore. But it's okay. It's probably still a crime we should prosecute, right? I mean, that seems reasonable. All right. Violation number 6. Angel Moreno's disciplinary file doesn't even exist. Never had one. He doesn't need one. He's one of those good cops that he walks on water. He's like Jesus. He walks on water. Or is that Moses? I think it's Moses. For the next fairy tale Kent Wahlquist thrust upon this court, Angel Moreno has not had any disciplinary actions. Has had no Officer Angel Moreno does not have a disciplinary file. The First Judicial District Attorney's Office sent a Giglio request to the New Mexico State Police pursuant to Giglio request from Internal Affairs against him, and he resigned from the New Mexico State Police in good standing. There we see that complete bullshit being offered to this court disguised as legal argument again. So Kent Wahlquist wants this court to believe that an officer who worked for the New Mexico State Police for at least 2 years doesn't have a disciplinary file. Every single police officer has a disciplinary file. Exactly. Every single police officer. I mean, it's like, come on, bro. Their disciplinary file is their personnel file. It goes inside their personnel file. That's like saying that Angel Moreno doesn't have a personnel file. Even if it is empty and contains no formal discipline, to aver that former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno doesn't have a disciplinary file, despite admitting during the PTI that he was disciplined to de-escalation classes, Exhibit 4. That's why I had that over a little bit.
And everything that transpired, she was just asked to leave. She didn't have to leave. The camp host stated that she was fine. It was just you that needed, or Mr. Myers that needed to leave the campground.
Did your supervisor, Cruzito Romero, reject your use of force report?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Did she give a reason?
Just to add more explanation on the use of force.
Have you been disciplined in any way for your actions on July 1st by anybody within the New Mexico State Police?
No, not as of right now. I'll be attending a de-escalation class.
That's called discipline.
So you were required to attend a de-escalation class by your supervisors?
I will be required.
When?
I'm unsure of the dates of when a class is going to be
Once he learned unsure.
happening. A class that's going to happen.
Do you feel you need to work on de-escalation?
I do not, but if I can always receive better training to help me in the job, I'll gladly do it.
All right. Hey, Mr. Wahlquist.
Trash. So he's just trash. That obviously should be in the file somewhere. More importantly, Mr. Myers did an IPRA request, Exhibit 5. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what Exhibit 5 has to say. Whoops. Alright. so here we go. Looks like a pretty extensive records request. Alright, let's see what this is about. So we got a bunch of records requests, and then and the New Mexico State Police turned over the disciplinary file. Oh, they turned it over for Angel Moreno the same day it was filed. So the same day he files an IPRA requesting his disciplinary file that doesn't exist, he receives it. Kent Wahlquist has 2 years, and he just says, trust me, bro, it doesn't exist. What a piece of fucking shit. God. I hope that he gets hit by a semi on his way into court today. Why would New Mexico State Police lie to this court? Why would the New Mexico State Police and Kent Wahlquist lie to this court when Mr. Myers has proof it exists? Sounds like a conspiracy to violate Mr. Myers' rights. Kent Wahlquist is a complete and utter disgrace to the legal profession. This clearly meets the 3-pronged test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed Brady material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. 7. How can he come into court and hold his head up like a man? 7. 7th violation. Text messages the defendant believes exist between undersigned counsel for the state and Angel Moreno. Another request, another lie. Hopefully this court is starting to get the hint, unless this court believes Paul Bunyan was real. Kent Liar Wahlquist wants this court to believe that Kent Wahlquist has never sent a text message to Angel Moreno. I saw Kent send Angel Moreno a text message during that deposition, so that's some bullshit. The alleged text messages during the 9/2 pretrial interview of Angel Moreno are not subject to disclosure under 6-504. However, to save time, the state herein provides the complete text message exchange between Officer Angel Moreno during the pretrial interview. Angel Moreno to Kent, how long is this? No response from Kent Wahlquist. There are no other text messages between Angel Moreno and Kent Wahlquist during the pretrial interview. Okay, I want to know if anybody believes that. Does anybody believe that Kent never sent him a text message, that Angel Moreno just said, how long is this? Does anybody believe it? Does Lane have any emails from the prosecutors talking smack or conspiring behind the scenes? Here, hold on. I actually know the answer to that question. All right, so First Judicial District Attorney's Office sent a Giglio request to prosecutors for emails about talking smack. And pursuant to Giglio, the response to the Giglio request is that prosecutors had not had any emails and no emails talking smack. Therefore, the court cannot give up the emails because it cannot disclose something that did not happen. Kent Wahlquist. So that's violation 10 or something. What are we on, guys? 7? How far am I into this? all the way down here. All right. Where's the proof? I smell bullshit again. Why not just show proof of the actual text messages instead of offering trust me to the court? Where's the affidavit of the facts verifying the testimony? There's no proof. The legal standard relating to these allegations, there are merely unproven statements by a pathological liar. Why would Kent Wahlquist stop lying now? He wouldn't. Liars be lying. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. The material was favorable to the accused, and the evidence was material to the defense. Are we all getting the hint here? Do you have a Bad Apple Media? Do you have a template, or do you have a specific verbiage as to how you request those emails? Because they love to play games with not being able to find emails or not being able to find anything because you didn't request them the specific way or the way they want, I guess, or whatever. All right, violation number 9. Is that where we are? Oh no, we're still on this. Did Kent close his eyes when he read Mr. Myers' motion to compel? Did he miss the obvious attachment of Mr. Myers' internal affairs complaint with proof that it was received? Now Mr. Myers shows this court 4 internal affairs investigations against Angel Moreno, against New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so we're probably not gonna watch all these or look at all these, but let's do this. What a bunch of bullshit from Kent. 6. Complaint. Angel Moreno. He's never had a complaint against him. But here's the proof. It looks like Lane Myers complained about Angel Moreno. Did that not happen? Formal complaint. 6-page formal complaint. Pause it if you want to read it. Actually, I'll load all this into the Google Drive, and you guys can read all this if you want it. I'll make a community post after court and put all this stuff in there. Fucking trying to railroad this guy. Bunch of bullshit. Oh, no, it never happened. Nobody's ever tried to file a complaint against our guy. Not our guy. These are fucking mirages. They're in receipt of the complaint form. What happened to it after that? Oh, oh, look at this, Catherine. Catherine isn't Lane, so that's another complaint. That's 2, at least. Oh, my Lord. All right, well, there's the complaint. Extremely distressed. At the time and afterwards, yeah, I'm sure that she still sees Angel Moreno whip out his gun, pointing at her head for no good goddamn reason. So, Kent's a fucking liar. Piece of shit, bro. So that never happened. Proving Kent Wahlquist is a criminal, not just incompetent. This clearly meets the 3-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. Violation number 9. After action report. Mr. Myers requested the after action materials to prove that not only was former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno disciplined, he was terminated for his unlawful arrest. As for the after-action material, the state has disclosed all of the evidence pursuant to the obligations under 6-504. The defendant does not explain why the items he is asking for fall under the state's disclosure obligations to Rule 6-504. Mr. Myers clearly articulated exactly why the requested disclosure falls under 6-504 because Kent Wahlquist is required to provide any and all disclosure that could be potentially exculpatory or impeachment material. And Mr. Myers requested any evidence that could be used to prove his innocence. What happened to the officer who arrested Mr. Myers? What happened to the officer who arrested Mr. Myers after arresting him is clearly material to the defense of Mr. Myers because it is the officer. Because if the officer faced discipline for the arrest, that can be exculpatory material used in Mr. Myers' defense. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. We've run out of fingers. We're out of fingers. So I hopefully there's not any more. Violation number 10, communications between Kent Wahlquist, New Mexico State Police, and any employee of the First Judicial District Attorney's Office and the United States Forest Service or Recreational Resource Management of America. So, Bad Apple, I would imagine that any email would fall under this because he's asking for any communication. So, now I don't imagine that he got what he was looking for unless he did an IPRA to get it, which I know he did some stuff with Forrest, but the dirty emails. I mean, Kent probably just texts since he's trying to tell everybody that, you know, he doesn't have text logs or something. Mr. Myers requested these communications to ascertain whether Kent Wahlquist has inquired exactly what authority toilet cleaner Douglas Downey actually had. As for the communications between agencies, the state has disclosed all evidence pursuant to its obligations under 6-504. The defendant does not explain why the items he is asking for fall under the state's disclosure obligations pursuant to 6-504. It's obvious, but how did the state determine that Mr. Myers' arrest was lawful without inquiring with the United States Forest Service Law Enforcement Division? What about Douglas Downey's employment relationship with the United States Forest Service? Not a single inquiry or communication with any other agency involved in this arrest. Based on Kent Wahlquist lying about every other requested disclosure in this case, he has a big hill to climb to pass the sniff test on this one. How is Kent Wahlquist going to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that I think that meant to say that Douglas Downey had actual authority? He's not, and he knows it, so he lied some more. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed Brady material, and that material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. And violation number 11, Bodycam audit trail. Mr. Myers requested the body-worn camera audit trail since Kent Wahlquist filed the body cam as the exhibit and plans to use it as trial. Mr. Myers moves this court to compel the production of the following potential exculpatory impeachment material. Kent Wahlquist has listed the body cam of former New Mexico State Police Officer Angel Moreno. Therefore, this information is requested and relevant. BWC case audit trail for case M33MR2024000017. Device audit trail for this case. All officers participating in this case for the same case number. If Kent Wahlquist wants to use the body cam that was clearly edited and tampered with, we're not going to go to it. Actually, we will. Alright, we're not going to watch 24 minutes, though, I'll tell you that.
How you doing, my friend?
Good, and you?
Doing all right.
I'm going to ask you nicely, put your hands behind your back.
For what crime?
Okay, you're trespassing.
So we know. Okay, so we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this has been tampered with, because this is before contact is made with the body camera. So there's going to be contact made with the body camera, and they're going to say, "Oh, violence."
And we'll leave. Ask us and we'll leave.
Violence
You haven't asked us to
ensued.
leave. You came up and said the land manager wants us to leave.
Okay.
And this happened. What's going on there? Sorry, but the body cam still records. Like, sorry, but you don't get to use this excuse here. But
Your career. Do you want to?
Don't
We'll
make it
leave.
worse.
Do you want to lose your career?
Don't make it worse.
You're making it worse by touching me illegally.
Don't make it worse.
You're retaliating against my First
Okay.
Amendment freedoms.
Stop tensing up.
I'm not stopping. You
All right.
cannot take me down.
Put your hands.
I'm not going. I'm not.
You're not.
You're unlawfully. Right now, you're
Okay.
kidnapping me.
Okay.
You're assaulting me.
So I'm
You're-
gonna ask you nicely. Put your hands behind.
so you can see, we can all see, it's obvious. Lips don't match up. They've tampered with the body cam. Tampered with the body cam. If Kent Wahlquist wants to use the body cam that was clearly edited and tampered with, then he can provide the audit trail for the body cam. If the rejected use of force report, we already looked at that, use of force report indicated it indicates the body cam malfunctioned, so where's the audit trail to back up these statements? Every single body cam has an audit trail showing every single person who accessed the body cam and when, along with exactly what they did and when they accessed it. Those are just facts. Those are facts. You get fucked on the audit trail, Kent. New Mexico State Police gets fucked on the audit trail, Kent. Kent Wahlquist completely ignored this request for production prior to the February 28th, 2025 deadline, as well as not responded to the motion to compel. Maybe Kent Wahlquist is getting ready to give Mr. Myers, and maybe people have walked. Maybe Kent Wahlquist is getting ready to give it to Mr. Myers, and maybe people have walked on the moon. About the same chance of it happening based on Kent Wahlquist's behavior in this case. This clearly meets the three-pronged Brady test because Kent Wahlquist suppressed material. That material was favorable to the accused. That evidence was material to the defense. Sanctions. As this court can see, unless it is legally blind, Kent Wahlquist has been lying to the court this whole time. Most importantly, he has committed numerous and compounding Brady violations and failed to produce a single piece of evidence to back up any of his claims, any of his false claims to this court. Mr. Myers moves this court based on the holdings in Harper. Our case law generally provides that the refusal to comply with discovery only raises the level of exclusion or dismissal where the state's conduct is especially culpable, such as where evidence is unilaterally withheld by the state in bad faith, or all access to the evidence is precluded by the state intransigence. Jesus. See State v. Ortiz, State v. Harper. As this court and the whole world can see, the bad faith by Kent Wahlquist requires the most serious sanction of dismissal with prejudice. I can't talk right now, whoever's calling me. As this court and the whole world can see, the bad faith by Kent Wahlquist requires the most serious sanction of dismissal with prejudice. Multiple Brady violations, failures to disclose, and flat-out, bold-faced lies by Kent Wahlquist requires the most serious of sanctions to ensure the integrity and justice system and the efficient administration of justice. This court also needs to report Kent Wahlquist to the Bar Association for the misconduct charges. Kent Wahlquist also needs to be charged with malicious prosecution pursuant to 30-27-1. Malicious criminal prosecution consists of maliciously procuring or attempting to procure an indictment or otherwise causing or attempting to cause criminal charge to be preferred or prosecuted against an innocent person, knowing him to be innocent. The only reason that Kent picked up this case is because all of these cases like this, they're pursued by the officer. The officer acts as the attorney in court for these cases. So, a special circumstance has to arise for what's happening in this case to happen, and then for him to take it up on Moreno's behalf, and then to do this, it just looks really bad, Kent. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. All right. 28 minutes, y'all. 28 minutes until game time. Zach, I'll call you back, bro. All right, let's see if... guess those are all closed. All right. Bro, you're in my chat and you're calling me on my phone? What you want? Here, FaceTime me. Do that instead. FaceTime me. Do it. Yeah, do it faster though. All right, well. You were trying to sabotage my show? Well, FaceTime me, motherfucker. FaceTime me. Let's see you sabotage it. Come on. Do it. We'll bring you up. You see here what we'll do. I'll show you what's going on. See where all this is? FaceTime me and I'll bring you up and I'll put you right here. You can sabotage my show. All right, so that's the so he sent this. I guess it would have it was technically probably this morning when it actually got sent to California Kathy. Hopefully, hopefully she does the right thing, and there we go. We all got to get on the bus though, so I'm not sure if anybody is trying already to get in there. Bring this down here. I'm going to sign off, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. I would never... No, you couldn't sabotage the show, dude. What could you possibly do? If this was like scripted and together, maybe that you could do something. Well, I don't even think it's a matter of being considered. I think he was just disabled. I think he was just putting it in her hands so she could, so she could review it. It's going to get handled unless it's straight kangaroo court today. Because the first Brady motion was on for sure. So, but I think that was more, more to, let's see what he named it. More of a supplement, We'll see though. Ryan, hopefully me. But I got to get into the courtroom first, right? So, on that note, I love you guys. I appreciate you coming in, hanging out. And for those of you that pray, say a prayer for Lane. Those of you that don't, manifest your good karma and send it out into the world for Lane, because this is crazy what's going on. I'm not sure, Brent. I'm not sure. New window. File. Let's do history. Recently closed Windows tabs. There we go. I want to put that up there actually. All right. Bear with me for a second here. We'll see. We'll see, folks. We'll see. Are they allowing cameras in the courtroom? No. No, they're not allowing cameras in the courtroom. There was a media request made in February, mid-February, and it was what am I trying to say? They emailed the person back saying that no rebroadcasting would be done. Here, hold on, and I'll give you that. All right, I'm going to sign off. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Take care.